Hey guys, I'm back with another book review. But before I do that, I'd like to give a shout out to Paul from PA Brews News. Paul is over there on his channel creating tons of content. He likes to review beers, and he also does a video podcast with his friend Josh called Maniacs Meet Podcast. So check that out. It's all things horror, and if you enjoy horror, you'll definitely dig that video podcast. Uh, I did I did a video on Lyle Blackburn's uh, true story of the Bishopville Monster, and I used my Kindle Fire just because I had it laying around. I wasn't happy with the video quality or the audio, so I am now using a cell phone thanks to my wonderful camera woman, Julia. So today's book review, I'm gonna review this book, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre Companion by Stefan Jaworzyn. I think that's how you say it. This book is a compilation of in-depth interviews, rare photos, and everything that you need to know about all the Texas Chainsaw Massacres up until about the remake from 2003. And this book was published in 2003, and it's from Titan Books, I believe. Titan Books, and it comes in around 269, 270 pages, but it's packed with tons of rare interviews, and sadly just about we lost a ton of original Chainsaw cast members. So this book was written at a time when they, you know, spoke their minds about the movie and the making of. There's a lot of very interesting stories, anecdotes, but Jim Seidow's in here, Marilyn Burns. Like I said, a lot of people from the first Chainsaw are now gone, so essential reading for any Chainsaw fan. But the book also chronicles Chainsaw 2, Chainsaw 3, the Return of Chainsaw, and it talks a little bit about the remake. It also goes into documentaries and short films. A short film that I love by Dwayne Graves and Justin Meeks called Head Cheese, which is available on Amazon Prime. It's a 22-minute short. It's very philosophical, very dark, shot in black and white. Very, very, very good film. It was produced by the writer, Kim Hinkle, of the original. And yeah, just a great, it was like a student project, and these kids went out and they filmed the original Chainsaw locations. Just a really good short film. But there's, like I said, there's so many rare, according to the back of the book, on-scene photos, never before seen photos of all the movies. And like I said, it chronicles 1, 2, 3, the fourth, a little bit of the remake. But you know what I love is just how they take you into some stories. Like one in particular that always kind of fascinated me was how Chainsaw was this massive success. Like it made tons of money, but you know the mob got their filthy little fingers in there, and like none of the cast or even Tobe Hooper or anybody like made money off of that film. Not any significant amount anyway. There's a great foreword by Gunnar Henson, Leatherface himself, Leatherface from the original, that is. And Gunnar Henson also wrote a book in 2013 called Chainsaw Confidential, which I'll get to in another review down the road. But that's also very insightful. This book here is, I think it's like one of the first ones when an author would pick a franchise and kind of do it in this format where you have all these interviews and pictures and stories. And we all know that a few years ago Peter Brack did the Friday the 13th Crystal Lake Memories, and there's one on the Return of the Living Dead series, and there's a bunch of these movies that they just chronicle like the original and the sequels. And this book, to my knowledge, may have been like the first to do that, because as I said, it was back in 2003. But it also goes into some of Tobe Hooper's other films, like Eaten Alive, about the killer crocodile, starring Neville Brand, which I love that movie. It was like his second movie after Chainsaw. I love that movie. It goes into his original movie Eggshells, which I've never seen, but it's like I guess it's like sort of like a hippie movie, kind of psychedelic and avant-garde. But yeah, there's tons of information here. It even talks about Ed Gein, where a story was partially based off of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Talks about Deranged, another good movie with Roberts Blossom, and just tons of information. An essential read if you are a Chainsaw fan. Like I said, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, is my favorite movie of all time. To me, it's one of the best movies ever made, period. I don't care what anybody says. And Chainsaw 2 is like right up there. I love Chainsaw 2. When I was a kid, I used to be able to quote it from scene 1 all the way to the credits. I loved Bill Moseley's Chop Top. Thought he was great in that. Just a wonderful movie, lots of fun, and all of the movies I like. I like all of them. I mean, I think the remakes get a little. I mean, after the original remake in 2003, they kind of. I'm not a big fan, but the first 4 are definitely among some of my favorite movies made. I just love the story. I love all the characters. I love the actors. All really down to earth people. Like in the original, these were like lesser. I mean, they were not. Nobody knew who they were. Just like in the original Night of the Living Dead. So they were all like theater actors. And Tobe Hooper had one film, but he was he loved making films. He knew what he was doing, and him and Kim Hinkle made the best movie ever made, hands down. And yeah, just a great book. I'm rambling now, but essential reading if you're a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. I don't know if this book is available anymore. I should have probably looked that up. I know it went out of print a few years ago, and it was like really pricey. But if you can find it, definitely pick it up. Great book, great read, thoroughly entertaining, and yeah, that's about it. I will be back with another book review before too long. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate your viewership, and adios.